Welcome back to the Making a Multi-Million-Dollar MedSpa podcast, where we have real conversations about what it takes to run a successful business. Thank you for joining us as we share our day-to-day successes and, even more importantly, failures and mistakes. Listen in as we host some of our peers, colleagues, and other experts in the field. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. The Aesthetic Care Marketing team joins us in today's episode to discuss the intricacies of marketing for an ever-growing med spa. Marketing Director Karen Cobb and External Marketing Coordinator Laurie Morrissey team up to support all of Aesthetic Care's marketing activities and functions. Karen came from a background in graphic design and has been leading the charge ever since. Outside of her typical marketing duties, Karen has been featured in Mint's marketing training e-course and is a crucial part of AC 411 each month. Laurie has been involved in marketing, advertising, and the PR business for over 20 years. From events and emails to website and partnerships, these two do it all. Now on to the episode. All right, I'm here with our two top performers, Laurie and Karen in our marketing department. I'm actually so excited to have you on today. Seriously,
Thank you.
Love you guys so much. Two powerhouses.
It's an honor. I know. It's an honor.
I've never done a podcast.
I was going to say, our people had to connect with your people. It got real hard to get the time to get figured out.
That's because my people, which are you two, are always setting up our podcast. So who better to have on the podcast? Because truly, when Matt and I talk about, or when we're asked, like, how have you guys done it? Why are you guys so successful? I mean, it always comes back to our team. And so how can I not just focus on our team? So I'm so grateful for you guys. Yep. Thank you for coming on. That's right. That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
So originally I'd asked you to do it individually.
Right.
One with Karen Cobb, who's our marketing director, one with Laurie Morrissey, who's our really external marketing manager, director.
Guru.
Do we have a formal title for that? Do we need
like
to go connect to HR?
Director.
I think so too.
That's what I always say. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So, and originally, I'd asked you two to come on individually, but you said, let's do it together.
Yeah.
I know.
And I have to say, at first I was like, oh, but you do such different things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the beauty is that you do them so well together.
I agree. We just mix so well.
Yep.
So why do you think that is?
I know why it is. I think because where I fall short, Laurie shines. So we both have very creative, Aquarius minds.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm a Pisces cusp, actually.
Oh yeah, we're right on the cusp
we're on the
there.
cusp. Yeah, it's close.
So I don't really know a lot about Kansas City. I'm still learning it, and Laurie knows it like the back of her hand. She knows everybody in the city. So all of those business to business relationships, influencers, even events with where's the coolest food, the hippest stuff, she's got that so effortlessly, and that would take a lot of energy for me to do. And I think I have a little bit more of the techie.
Yes, I was going to say right back at you. Because, she's got the techie background, and she actually went to college to learn how to do all the things that she does that make us look so pretty and, brings it all to life. So we'll be talking about something, we'll brainstorm. And then, we were saying, we work so well together, even though we both do our own things. But, A, we're way more creative when we're together. Mm-hmm. B, we have way more fun, you know? And I think we get I think everybody else gets a better product from it.
Right.
Have you ever not had a good day together?
No.
Come on, just tell me one.
We haven't.
I don't really know if we have.
No.
I really don't.
I mean, I've never gotten the sense of that, which is why I had to ask.
I know.
Truly have not.
Yeah. I mean, I'll text you back, oh, you're an angel. Okay, sure, that sounds great. I'm WWKD, what would Karen do? On our text, she's so nice when she talks to me. It is. It's real. I don't think we ever have. Mm-mm. There's times we'll have a little, Karen is way more forward thinking than I am.
I get very structured. Do we have this? They come in for their consult. Yeah, I get a little bit antsy on
details of
checking
the plan.
the boxes, and she's a little. It'll work out.
Yeah, exactly. A little more floaty, or I could deep dive into something for a long time. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Oh, we did that. We're done. Check, moved on." I'm like, "But what if we could do that too?" When I add to it. So maybe that's a little, but then that's also what makes it work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think too, it's so beautiful to see two people that just feel success from the other's success, which is something that I always like in my mind I strive for, is like I feel success when our team is successful.
Right.
Whether when it had nothing to do with me or it had whatever it is, but it's like you guys see that in each other. And so you see your own faults, and so humble about that, by the way. But then like you just give so much to the other person, and I love that. And it's just
it is. We have a good each other's back all the time. Like we both know what we need, and if one's missing, and the other way, we pick up for each other, which is good.
Well, I think too, it's such a great example to our team. Because we have such a big group, and when the big events come, which can feel overwhelming, or even the small events that are done last minute,
it's true.
And last minute, not because of you two, but last minute because of us two,
or the world, or whatever.
Right, but it's just you guys, the way that you present it to the team and the energy that you take to the team. It makes all the difference, in my opinion.
Thank you. It's the theme that you guys always talk about of what can I do today to make my coworker's job even better? And so it's the same thing with the providers, maybe cleaning up a room or whatever. And if we're in the middle of something, one can do this and one could do that. It's kind of the
But if
same
we kind of
mentality.
dance at the time that we do it when we're with that person, and we make it better for them, like we're making their day better too.
It always works for me.
Or we use our other voices, or it's just like fun things we can do. Matt will say, and we'll be like, well, what is the voice?
I don't know. I think if we get excited, we're like, what if we did this? What's that voice? I don't know. I think we're excited.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Okay, well, so let's dial it into some of the details then. So we'll start with the details of being the marketing director, in-house marketing director. What do you think? There's so many things that I see that you're constantly working on and doing. What do you think are some of the biggest or most impactful or the most important, knowing that so many of the clinics that listen to this podcast don't have a Karen marketing director? So what do you think makes the biggest impact?
I think with marketing, I always say focus a lot of your money and energy on your website first, because that's your funnel filler. So you're driving a lot of people there, and we have our VC tool, which is kind of our main lead resource. So we want our website to look fresh and exciting and well-rounded, pictures of the treatment, great before and after. So a lot of energy goes into the website. Social media, I would say, is probably second. Just with Instagram being so popular, like people need to see it 18,000 times and be fed to it and be entertained all at the same time.
Yeah,
So lots of
Yeah.
energy there. I mean, that's why we're doing this, right?
I think this is fun. This is so
it is, but I'm just saying, like, it's to keep people engaged. I spend a lot of time too. We do events.
Right.
I think face to face, teaming up in your community. I would say that those are the top three when people ask what you're spending your energy on.
And so, go ahead.
And I'm just interrupting for a second. What I think something you do also that you drive, and you don't even probably realize you're doing it, but we look at the year as like a whole year, like a holistically, and we know kind of like what's going where, like with our big events, and then we focus kind of on monthly themes or kind of specials. So I always in my head see it as like a calendar, and then Karen's really good again about like bringing it to life. Like, okay, we're doing a special on Mirror Dry this month. Here's the visual. Okay, let's do an event with it. Oh my gosh, let's tie in this influencer that has talked about this before. So before we even get to like the tactics of the website and all the things that you're so great at making look good, you're like, you send out the monthly thing, and it's kind of like, to our team, and just saying like, here's our monthly specials, here's what's going on this month, get ready for this coming up next. So just kind of driving the big picture, which I feel like is really, really important. That a lot of people, even if you don't have a Karen, but if you keep your eye on that, because it's real easy to get distracted.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when you came on, and prior to having you as a marketing director, it was very typical to like plan 1 to 3 months ahead, and you were like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the death of me.
Yeah.
I was like, Matt, it's got to be like a year. I mean, let's give him a chance. I mean, there's just so much that goes into it, and I think, again, if you are the owner of the MedSpa, you're the doctor, you're the provider, you're the marketing person, you're the this and that, it's kind of hard to do all of that. But to have that, just to sit down at the end of this year, or even right now,
right?
And because we're in the beginning of there, but to sit down and plan for the next year, so you have a basic plan in mind, and then it may need to change and add to and all of
everything
those
will,
things.
you know,
but
pivot or tweak. But I feel like the further ahead you know, the better you plan, and it just
definitely
executed better.
Yep.
And so with website, how much time and effort do you end up putting into that?
That ebbs and flows for sure, and we have a website company, so if there's anything really techy, that gets like sent off. But any special, any event, any new product or price changes on that, any new treatment, that's all needs to go on the website. So that's kind of ever evolving, and it kind of ebbs and flows with what we have going on. But it's something that I'm constantly like keeping an eye on for sure.
And what do you think about the how we've had the e-commerce piece, the products?
Love, hate. And I love it because I think that's where the future is going. What I don't love about it is our current EMR system doesn't have an open API. So everything is manual. If, you know, the inventory is low in something, you gotta, you know, mark it that way. Price changes, everything like that. But I want to get to a point where everything is kind of a set it and forget it, and we've got it on Amazon maybe, or it's linked with our Google.
It's
my
coming,
business.
Karen.
I
You can
know
do
it is coming. It's like on my goal list.
I know, and you sound so fancy with your EMI system and your API.
Yeah, I know, big words.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where it's going. I just want it to be, you know, I love a set it and forget it.
Definitely, especially with all of that. There has been so much more that goes into it than you would think.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because really it was a new business for us to offer something online.
Totally. Yeah, it was a whole new world. So considering from where we were to where we are now, it's great. And I don't regret doing it. I'm just excited for the next
What's coming, right?
level.
For the quiz, we've got many exciting things planned that we can't do because we don't know how to do
Yes.
the back end of things that we've been really wanting to do.
Yeah.
with the website.
Excited.
With the website. So I'm going to save a little bit of the social media for you too. And so you said website, social media, and events.
Yes.
And so with events, how many, because I know we do a lot of different types of events.
Right.
And maybe one or two of the events, the types of events that you think are the most impactful and things that we would just, we couldn't live without, or, or maybe an event you would like to do that we haven't done. Like anything else with the events?
Well, I think our end of summer party that is always a home run. And again, with that, we start planning in June. So if that kind of...
And the event's in September.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So when I tell people that, they're always like, holy cow. And then when I go into like kind of the process and what it takes, they're like, oh, I kind of understand now why that takes so long. And we've really blossomed into virtual events, which I didn't think could be as powerful as they've become. And that's been a huge learning curve too, because I started by doing like Zoom meetings to then, webinars, to now we found a system that works really well with automated like text, as we just did one today.
How'd it go?
Amazing. It was all about Mirror Dry. We had, I believe, 82 registrants, and I know in real time how many of those people that RSVP'd showed up, what duration they stayed, and then as soon as it's done, they get a text message about the sale. We know how many people now want to buy Mirror Dry. It's just
how many people want to buy Mirror Dry?
Last I checked, within the first 15 minutes, 19 people did.
That's awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Especially for a treatment like that's so specific. That's
It's
great.
like $30,000.
Amazing.
It is
Nice.
a very
I know.
So I think it's also, learning as you grow, because we weren't doing virtual events, 2 years ago. And now it's become such a little sweet spot.
So it's really like a lunch and learn almost. So it's like people they're online, and I think they can ask questions they might be embarrassed to ask in front of other people if they were in person, or you'd feel like you're, taking too much time or something. Right. So it just is a really cool to see. It's very educational. So really, I was like, these are virtual events, but it's like a lunch. It's a learning
Which
thing.
is why I think learning from these last few, maybe we do a little bit more that's just catered on, ask an expert.
Totally.
Maybe it's not, a specific sale. Maybe it's just an opportunity where people don't have to leave their home.
Right.
They can pop
30
on
minutes,
and
45 minutes.
It's amazing to think before COVID happened, we never did anything like this.
Right.
And then that's all we could do.
Yeah.
And now where we are now, it's just the silver lining piece to the whole process is that there's been some really great things that we've learned and have come out of it.
Yeah. And then just the other thing with events, I think, is just keeping it fresh. You can't do the same thing every time, whether it's new team ups or different kind of sales.
And in-person things are still so fun too. So so we have a couple fun Mother's Day things coming up, for example, with like businesses we've never even worked with before. So one's a cute little store, like a little like home goods store and different things, and it's Spruce, and they're doing a spring fling, and it's totally, again, like our people and a lot of our clients and the owners, you know, come here, so they understand how great we are. So we'll go down there and give out little gift cards that day, and we'll have like our experts there to like answer questions, and so that'll be really fun. And then they'll promote us on their social and all their assets, and then we'll do the same and do a giveaway. And
also, like you say that so easily.
I know.
In my mind, I'm like, okay. Yeah. But as like our external marketing director, I mean, this is your real focus, is building these relationships in the community, and whether it's other local business owners or charities or events like the bridal shows and all of those things. Like, you've created such an amazing network in Kansas City. And so I think, you know, when you say that, it sounds so easy to do, but there's so much in that to kind of unpack, you know, but to just take that idea and say, hey, it can be easy.
Right.
Like, you don't have to worry about all the tiny little how-tos. Just like start the process.
Right.
So find a business.
Right.
That somebody that owns it, you like them. Maybe.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Right. Exactly. You go there. You're like, oh, why wouldn't I want to? You know, that person is just like me. You know, and I love everything we do here, but I also go shop there, or I get my hair done there, or I work out there, or, you know, whatever it is. And so that's kind of the same people that we try to talk to.
And starting internal, we've had consulting where they're like, I don't even know where to start. Like, they want to like just walk into a business or cold call them, and we're like, just start with your team, you know, talk with them. They probably already have such loyal clients that, like you said, maybe it's their hairdresser, their realtor, that already love your business, and you build off of that.
Right.
Well, look at Liberty, when we opened Liberty, and how, you know, the team up there, it was, you know, the boutiques that they personally shop in, or they knew the owners from, you know, a friend of a friend, or even working with the restaurants up there, you know, Kelly's husband and is the manager. So it's kind of, I love that idea that starting with your team, because that will probably feel a lot easier than trying to go cold call. I don't want to do that.
I mean, no.
And they don't want it. I mean, I ain't got time for that.
Who loves that? Like, who's here?
Right. I'm sorry, what? Someone's here to do what? Yes. Yeah. It's just
easier time.
It was the way back in, you know, that's just an antiquated.
Well, but let's get into a little bit about your background. So how did you get to where you are now? Because to be like, you are not a direct employee of Aesthetic Care. You have your own business, and we contract with you to be our external marketing director.
Yes.
And so maybe explain a little bit about your unique background and how you've partnered with us to build what you're doing now.
Yep. So I'm 100 years old. I sound like I'm mad. I know. I'm like, I've been doing this
too,
for
Laurie.
so long. I was like, I did used to walk in with a one-sheeter, you know, back in the day when I sold stuff. And I was like, here, you want to buy, you know, is your manager here? But I don't think the internet was around. It was a long time ago. Oh my God, I'm not kidding. Okay. I'm not kidding. So yeah, I think a big part of it is just knowing, I mean, I've been in Kansas City for so long, so that's been helpful. Because I've been in sales, advertising, marketing, PR. I did some nonprofit. I've done a lot of different kind of cool things in Kansas City, and I always say I only work with people I love, so it's been really fun. So every job I've just gotten lucky, and they've asked me to come work for them, and I'm like, oh, I don't have a resume. Like, I've never had to write a resume. Like, no one, I didn't even know that, you know.
Resume.
Yes. And I've been there for a long time, you know, like at different places. But then after that's like building upon what I've learned, and then taking that experiences and just kind of ending it up here. So Matt, I've known since I was director of marketing for a local magazine. And this was my biggest client. And again, now I'm laughing because it was a 2-page spread in a magazine every month. I mean, I was like,
Aesthetic Care was your biggest
client. Aesthetic Care was my biggest client. Yes. And I was like, I would come in and be like, I love it here. I want to work here. Like, it's so fun, you know, and the staff and everyone, you know, was in another location, and everyone's hugging each other. And it's just like now, you know, it's so fun. And I would ask Matt all the time, I'd be like, can I get these $100 gift cards? And I'm going to go and ask this boutique that I want to buy a magazine ad from, I'm going to give her these gift cards, and in exchange, then, you know, I'm keeping my client Matt happy, as well as getting an ad from someone else. So I would do that all the time. And Matt was like, duh, like, why wouldn't you just come do this for us? Go get a couple other clients, and that's how you could start your own business. So I always say I blame Matt, and I don't. I mean, for getting, and I thank him for both. Yeah, yes, I know.
Hopefully,
so,
mostly think.
I think, I love it. Yes, I do. I know.
Way.
Well, no, I mean, but just I never really wanted to own my own business, so to speak, or I didn't think that was my vision. But I guess I say that because I just was like, this is a big deal. Like, I quit a full-time paying job,
yes,
benefits
and
to come do this, and I always do. I mean, I joke about it, but I always thank him. But because I probably wouldn't have known how to more fit into that without that. And
what's been the hardest part?
Oh God, just my time management. My ADD is figuring out how to do everything. So and I like to do it all. So I mean, I don't want to say no. So. I think the hardest
and you're
part,
a mom.
And a mom of 3
wife,
kids, and I'm a wife, and I really like to go and be social and have fun, and I like to work out, and I like to do it all. I mean, it is kind of like
with your friends.
Right.
Yeah. And it is like my one rabbit hole thing is like, we're doing this Nashville trip, and I'm like, I want to look at every restaurant and find the most fun, and then what are we going to get at the restaurant to eat, and what drink, and so I just find myself sometimes having to be like, all right, you got to
off.
Yes. So anyway, I do my to-do list. That's what I'm calling my new list every day instead of my to-do list.
Oh,
ta-da. Isn't that cute? I know. So on our to-do, we're going to have to change it to ta-da. So
I love that.
I try
to
to
doing the I get to.
Oh, that's good too.
I
know they have
I get
to.
I get to. I really do get to do all this.
Yes, that's it's such a good way of doing it. Yeah, I told my kids it's I'll try it bite, not a no thank you bite.
Yeah.
You're like, you'll try it.
Yes.
You don't have to like it.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I try to keep on that list like 5 things. So it's not like 30 where you're not going to feel good about yourself and not get it done.
Right.
But on it every day, trying to just get done what the big things are. So kind of going back to the whole thing about like, what's the month plan?
Right.
What do we have to get done first? And then you kind of can fill in all the other stuff
What
after.
do you get to do first?
What's my get to do? I know.
What's your get to do first?
Yes, well, we got through it. I know. I'm like, geez, I mean, we did that today. Yes, check. Nashville, baby. We got
I
to
know.
get
Here we
that
go.
one. I know. Yeah.
All right. So, what are some of the most fun or your favorite collaborations that we've done?
Yes. So anyway, I guess I've been working then with aesthetic hair for probably 8 years doing this. And then I do have, and all my other clients are local. So everybody is talking to the same person. And so my collaborations a lot of times will layer on top of each other that way. So whether it's other clients I work with, or again, it's just the places we go. I mean, it's my skincare, my like workout place, or like a juice place, or kind of taking just relationships, and then if I'm thinking I would want to know about this, or I would want to try this, then so would you. Then like, why wouldn't everyone else? Like, duh. Like, I feel like I'm helping them,
right?
With something they're going to do anyway.
And then what about the charities? I know Matt, we get involved with a lot of charities, but I feel like it's so fun to get to be a part and a piece of it, but it's I love what you did, Karen, with the website recently, where they can inquire through the website, because it feels like we get a lot of inquiries, and then we bring you guys a lot of inquiries, and then Laurie's connecting with all of these people,
and it's so great.
Yeah.
Yes. So we do love to do like the girls' night out or something that's getting them back in here. And we do a lot of external. Like this morning, I ran $100 gift cards, and we gave a hydrofacial to the Lyric Opera, which is like a fancy Kansas City, event that's happening. So we'll do things like that help.
How does that work? The Lyric Opera.
Like they will do a big auction, and so then we'll either give an auction item, but again, we don't like to just give things and give it. We like to do like a girls' night out, or something that they're going to make money, they're really happy, but then we're going to get those people back here.
So what does a girls' night out look like? I mean, I know what it looks like, but what is a girls' night out?
Again, this is where we do such a good job collaborating. So Karen and I will be like, okay, we want to do a girls' night out with the Lyric Opera, as an example. So we might even call that like skincare for a cause, or we come up with that kind of a cool name for it. And then again, that kind of helps us go, all right, let's get their logo, and we'll make a cute invitation, and then they'll invite all of their people. And so they've got, 100 women in Kansas City that support this charity that are our target audience. A lot might be our clients, or we'd want them to all be our clients.
Totally.
Then we'll market to them. They come in. We give them great food or drink. We do a great presentation. They can ask questions. They can set up consultations.
Yeah.
And like anything else, once they're in here and they see it, they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I had no idea. You guys are so great, blah, blah, blah. So it's just getting people in here in a lot more comfortable, organic way than, buying a billboard and hoping that someone calls.
That has not worked for us in the past anyway.
That might be a good mistake.
There's a marketing fail.
Totally. Yes.
Okay, to that. Okay, is that the biggest fail we've had? Is the billboard, or like what are some little ones, or because we all make them, like it's what makes us better.
We make them all the time.
Totally.
Yes.
So I take it as a learning experience, but we definitely fail.
Yes.
I would say again, like the learning as we go, like especially with events and stuff. I've noticed there's been times after an event I'm like, that felt really chaotic. So coming up with a plan, okay, maybe we need to have a setup crew and a takedown crew. And maybe we need to have set providers that all they do is consultations. And maybe we need to have somebody that's custom, just talking about product all night, So I think, learning from those things, and again, me, the more prepared, the better. Yeah. But I like having, those boxes checked off so that it doesn't feel chaotic and it feels very thought through.
I love it. I'm so that way as well.
Yes.
I think it just makes all the difference. It makes
it
more enjoyable for our team. It makes it more enjoyable for our clients.
Right.
And I think they're always going to be more successful. Of course, then I married the let's just go with it.
Totally.
So is she.
Let's get this here and let's rub our Chiefs tin. I'm like, it doesn't match.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm like, oh, just let it go.
Yes. Yeah. But then it also is engaging the staff too. When we give them the jobs, instead of being like, we got it all, we can do everything.
Yeah.
If we're like,
everyone
you're here, everyone wants to help.
Yeah.
Correct. So
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to make a plan for it. Things run smoother that way.
I love it. Okay, so just kind of a personal question for you both, because working with so many people in this industry and just in general, because I'm an old lady too, is, there's so many different personalities and ways to look at life and ways to look at what you're doing, right? Whether it's like I'm going to work or like my to-do list. And so both of you kind of, to me, you are two of the most positive, loving, joyful, playful, creative, smart women I've ever met. And so I'm just wondering, where do you feel like that comes from somewhere or something? Is it a purpose that you hold in your heart, like a life purpose or a thought, or does anything come to mind? Because I do think we're born into certain circumstance, but we have a choice to look at it in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I feel like you both always choose a very positive way. And so I'm just curious if there's something that comes to mind that has kind of driven that for you.
I've always been, I feel like you got to give props to the old parents because they're the same way. Like anyone that meets my mom is like, whoa, carbon copy. We're very much alike.
Yes.
And same with, I've never seen either one of them really have a bad day. Right. So that's kind of
her dad
all
was
I
a
knew.
pastor. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I know. Seriously, right?
He's pretty much the sweetest man. So I think a lot of it just comes with my upbringing, and that's just always who I've been at every single job. So a lot of it has to do with the core values and how I grew up, and just it's a mindset. I don't enjoy being upset, and I don't enjoy having negative thoughts. So kind of nipping that in the bud and just taking every day as a fresh day.
Well, I think the values is a huge point, and I think, it tends to be like people either want to emulate their parents or do the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Depending on their parents and them, right? Yeah. And so I do think so many of those core values and beliefs start at the beginning. And if you do have two parents that are so great at that, you want to do that versus oh my gosh, I don't ever want to do what they did, So, but then just to make the choice individually to do that as well, you should also look to yourself, because that's pretty powerful.
And I'm also very lucky and blessed in life. I love my job, I love my family, I love my husband, I love my kids. There's not really anything bad there anyway, so pretty lucky.
Well, we're lucky to have you.
I know.
All right, what about you?
I know. It's funny, I kind of feel the same. It is values and upbringing, and my dad's so positive and so happy, and I mean, just looks on the bright side of everything, you know, and kind of same thing, but, you know, oh God, I'd be stressed out and little kid and be like, just pray, it'll all work out. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't think about everything, but it just having that background, and like, I see it, my kids will eye roll. They're like, Mom, you're so positive all the time, you know, yeah. And I mean, but you know, they're going to like, they will hopefully be the same way and do it. And it is, you can look at it and like be bummed out and like look on the bad side, or you make an effort and you just are like, be grateful and find things to be grateful about. And they don't have to be big things. Be grateful about, you know, the yummy juice you get to drink. I mean, don't look at it so hard. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It is not hard. It's not hard to make someone's day better. It's not hard to, you know, take a deep breath and just like put a smile on your face and laugh.
I always tell the kids when they go to school, I'm like, give someone a compliment today. Yeah. It's like, honestly, like, just telling somebody something nice, like, doesn't take a lot of energy, but
makes
like,
especially at that age.
I know. Yeah, like, some
huge.
kids are having rough times at school. Like, be sweet.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so we both totally have that same personality. Like, so we'll be in a meeting with somebody and you can tell they're like getting grumpy or something, and we'll kind of just start laughing. Like, we're both just like, dude, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like we're not, it's really going to be okay. You know what I mean? So we both, we definitely will have that same vibe.
Yeah. And I think people feed off of it too.
100%. I mean, 100%. I mean, I know for sure in our environment, but what you're spreading and doing goes so far beyond what I see, you know, and I think it's just like such the small percentage I get to see. It's very obvious, like, what your life is like, because it's just always so joyful. And what's better than that?
Not always. Nothing. I know. I screamed at my kids this morning, you know, for being late. So yes, let's be real. Let's be real. We think. I know, when we were like, God, we're perfect. Actually, what event do we do? What do we not do great? Like, yeah, I know.
That's true.
I know, exactly. So
gotta be real. Oh, well, thanks you guys for doing this with me today, and for everything that you do.
Awesome. You're the best. Thank
It's a big
you.
impact in my life.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. I know.
All right.
We'll
Love
check you at
it.
the next
Yes,
podcast.
I know. We'll see you at the next one.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. We would love it if you left a review to help other providers and clinics find us. Also, if you want more information about anything we discussed in this episode, check out our show notes. Until next time, this has been the Making a Multi-Million-Dollar MedSpa podcast.